Thank you to all my Patreons. You're all nuts for wanting to send me money, but I appreciate the heck out of it. Hello, everyone. I'll thank my patrons again later in the stream, but wanted to say hello. Hello, everyone. My name is John, aka Big Bad Biologist, and welcome back to the Big Bad Bench. We have a lot of work to do today, so let's just show you what's on the Big Bad Bench, and then while you're looking at all of this, I'll say hi to folks in the chat. So who all is here? We got Trina's Technobabble, Francois Raval, John Little, All Things DG, Jack68K, Garth Beagle. Oh, so glad you're here, Garth Beagle. This is your fault. Rudy's Retro Intel, Jamie's Hack Shack, Mr. Tech Gadget, Eric Helgeson, Asmodeus Devil Duke, Bacchus, Gut Bomb. Hello. Yes, we are on the beige spectrum today. So I think, well, let's do one thing real quick. Just a quick update. I don't know if you remember, I bought this $1 Power Mac, like 5200, or no, this is a Power Mac, or not a Power Mac, a Performa 630 logic board at VCF Midwest for $1. And the reason I bought it is because I wanted the CUDA chip or egret, depending on what you're talking about. And I needed it to fix this LC475 board. I'm sorry I didn't do that on a stream, but I transferred the chip over. This is now a perfectly happy LC475. So my $1 Performa 630 board has now made a LC475 board fully functional, and I have the rest of the parts to fully build up this system now. So this is awesome, and you're gonna go on the parts pile. I appreciate excuse me, I appreciate you, board, because you sacrificed that chip to restore 475, which anytime we can save a 475, I'm pretty happy about that. All right, next up, well, I'm gonna leave these here for you. Let's talk about something else first. Put these all down here. I think more people showed up. Adam Baranek, hello. Garth says, I love it when it's my fault. Bacchus says, what other stuff on the 630 is worth saving? I don't know. The power supply is also useful. What else do we have on these boards? I forget if any of these are common with other boards. I know this one is common with another board. These are common with other boards. Yeah, I don't know about these three, about the main chipset boards, but I think that's useful for something else, and these are. But the egret is always the important one. This is impossible to find. I mean, DOSFox has done a lot of work, and you can program your own nowadays, but the issue is that, one, programming them is really hard, well, at least for me, because I'm not that bright, but two, the actual chips that you need to program are also very hard to find. So yeah, maybe if you needed an edge connector, if the board was really battery bombed, you could save the edge connector for something, maybe the ROM chips. Yeah, I mean, these RAM chips are on a lot of different boards if you needed to pull them out. The VRAM is common to a lot of things. So, I mean, yeah, there's chips, but maybe the other connectors too, always could use a LCPDS slot maybe. I don't know. So yeah, for me, the egret CUDA chip is the most important. Okay, so yesterday I picked up a Macintosh SE30. We'll open that up later on in the stream. Let's see what's inside. But the reason that I bought it is because it came with this, and it came with this. These were in the picture. Anyway, and so I was like, hey, that looks really familiar. That looks like the 50 megahertz Daystar card that's in my 2CI. And that is pretty epic. Looking at this further, we look at this guy. So we have a PDS riser. And this PDS riser has a spot for most likely a 6882 math coprocessor. And judging by the form factor, if we go over here, remember this 2SI that we've been working on. Look at that. Look at that form factor of that riser. I think this is a 2SI riser and a 2SI 68030 card. I'm not sure which ones of these you can swap around. If we look at, go grab the one out of my 2CI. If we compare these guys, they look really freaking similar. This one says power cache, right? And so that might specifically made for the cache slot, cache card slot in a 2CI. So I don't know if this would actually be compatible with a SE30. So we'll have to do some more research. If anyone knows, please let me know. But we do have plenty of working 2CIs around here. And I don't really want to stick this into a 2C, or I mean, we have plenty of 2SIs around. I don't really want to stick this in a 2CI. Well, we wouldn't stick that in a 2CI unless we actually know. But it sucks that the connectors are all identical, right? And so actually right here, this is my, for the 2VX, right? The exact same connector. It all looks very similar. So like what's compatible with what? It really kind of sucks that the connectors are all the same and you have no idea what would theoretically work with what. So if anyone actually knows, let me freaking know. Baka says, ask Bull. Okay. All right, cool. There was some other stuff that came with it. Not these bad caps. Those are for the 2SI power supply. What else do we have here? Okay. Oh, we have a couple VRAM slims. So that's interesting. They don't go with a 2SI or a SE30. We have a ROM sim, which could theoretically go on a 2SI or an SE30. And we have a pair of 30-pin sims. 51440. That looks very familiar to this. Yeah, so these are most likely 1 meg sims. Okay. And we have a 286 processor. Okay, well that's a fun collection of things. What else do we have here? We have an NCR SCSI card. So this is, people used to use these in for scanners back in the day. Okay, this would be for a PC. Don't know why that was in there with other stuff. Well, I guess there was a 286 along the way, so whatever. Oh, and here's the other pair of 1 meg sims. Okay, well that's cool. We got a full matching set of 1 meg sims. Nothing else in there. Look at this. That's intense. That is an intense label on there. Static electricity. Do not open. Never open things that you want to use. Just don't open them. Okay, what else do we got? Oh, this was in there too. So I have no idea what this is. These look like dongles. They're still in package. And they say Norton Utilities on them. I've never heard of Norton Utilities requiring dongles. So I don't know what this would be. I don't want to open them. Like, they're brand new in package. Oh, maybe loop back for the ports. That's right. Good call. Okay. All right. Nice. Oh, that's really useful. Okay, so that's fun. That was a fun little find. Ah, cool. I didn't have those. Ah, good job, people. All right, who else did I miss here? Some other folks have logged in. Hello, Eric's Edge. Hello, Micro Hobbyist. Hello, Stephen Run 34. Nice. So yeah, that would be since they're plugged in together, one's going to be serial, one's going to be parallel, and then the 9-pin serial. So that's cool. All right, now we'll be able to test ports. I've never been able to do that before. Okay. All right, let's get to the first thing. Let me show you this picture of a really ugly, disgusting mouse. So this one in the middle here, you can thank Garth Beagle. He found that on eBay, and he's like, look how gross this is. And you know, if anyone finds something on eBay and says, oh, look how gross this is, I'm probably going to try to buy it. And so I bought this mouse off of eBay. I paid actual money. I think I paid $30 for it, which for a Mac Plus mouse, you know, I'm fine with that. This was another one on the left that I had in my collection. And I think the Kensington thing came with the really gross middle mouse. And so I've retrobrighted these. So this one's the left one, this is the middle one, and this is the Kensington again. So if we go back to here, you can see what they used to look like, and that's what they look like now. And so you can see that this came back nice. This one cleaned up pretty well. It's the proper beige kind of color. As a biologist, aren't you afraid of the dangers of gross stuff? Nah, Micro Hobbyist. I'm good with the gross stuff. I like the gross stuff. Oh, Garth has to go stack wood. But all right, whatever, Garth. All right, but you can see that this one cleaned up nice. And if we look at this one, it's really, it's too white, right? It's been retrobrighted. You can see that we have a sort of a color gradation here. Actually, this used to look like that. And so this is my technique that I'm going to show you today to try to bring back the colors on them. So yeah, the whole button used to kind of look like this, but I brought it back. So this, normally when you retrobright, this is what it's going to look like. And that's cool. But sometimes if the plastic's really been abused, it doesn't look right. And you might say, oh, well, maybe it's platinum, because pluses also came in platinum in addition to beige. This is a platinum mouse that I have not restored. This one is just in its original coloration. It's just been really well preserved over the years. This is not platinum. This is supposed to be beige. And so, yeah, this is supposed to be a darker color. Let's leave the proper color one up next to it, right? So you can see that's a little darker. This one is still in its package because I have not worked on restoring it yet. This one, if you're looking at it, you'd think, oh, that's probably a beige mouse, right? And I'm sorry, let's take it out. It'll be easier to see. I don't think Trina's paying attention. She would have made a comment. So if we look at this, if we look at the beige, and say, oh, that's probably a beige mouse. It just needs to be a little retrobrighted. No, actually, this is a platinum mouse. If you look at the mouse button color, you can see that it's gray, right? The button color gives it away. So this is actually a platinum mouse. And if we look at the bottom, you can see it's platinum color is still kind of there. So this is what the platinum color will do if it starts discoloring. So this one needs to be restored, and also you can kind of tell by the cable color, right? So the cable is platinum, the cable color on these is brown. Okay, so platinum, platinum, not platinum. This is supposed to be beige. So how can we get this color back? So again, this is after retrobrighting. I've shown retrobrighting on the channel before, or on shorts mostly. So let's pop this back apart. And this happens a lot when like plastic is really, really discolored. Sometimes when you retrobright it, it'll turn to white. Caramel mouse. There you go. You can kind of tell which ones are older. Generally, the older ones are going to have metal wheels inside. This one has plastic rollers for the sensors, but a metal roller here. I think this one has, yeah, this one has plastic rollers all around. These are going to be a newer one. If looking at old nasty plastic, here, look, here, Eric, I'll put back this picture. That'll make you not want to eat again. So yeah, that should make you not want to eat again. Look at how blotchy it was. Oh, that's so gross. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get our hot air station. Oh, actually, we're gonna shut off the hot air station. Well, let's start off with the nozzle on. So we're gonna turn on our hot air. We're gonna hit it with 190 degrees Celsius. Okay, so let's go with this one. And when you start doing this, do the color, like only do it on the edges, because you want to practice on stuff that's not as important. And you want to go slow. You don't want to give it too much heat, because then you'll turn it brown for real, and like burning brown. If you give it too much heat, it'll also just kind of melt. You want to keep sure that you got that the texture in there. As you can see, we're starting to bring the color back. Again, don't go too much because you're gonna melt it. Could probably make do with 180 degrees Celsius to be a little bit safer. Just keep moving around. Try not to do one area too much. You can kind of use it like an airbrush, right? So you can see we've come a long way in just that short amount of time. Keep slowly working it. But you want to be patient. You know, it's like, oh, I want this to happen right away. No, if you do that, you're gonna melt it. You're gonna cause some issues. You also might make some bubbles too. If you get a little too close there. So there you go. You can see on the edge there, where I haven't really had the heat, the lighter spot still. There's still a little splotchiness. We can keep working it kind of slowly. So it's never going to be perfect again, but it's going to look way better than it did originally. Ow. Don't try to melt your finger. That's not the right way to do it. All right, so there you go. It's you can still see a little streakiness. I always thought the retrobright couldn't be overdone. So that's a really good point, but like if you have nice plastic, you really can't overdo the retrobright. I sort of. I have overdone it with the streaky method, with the brush-on method. But if your plastic has been abused, then it's gonna do weird stuff. And so obviously, you know, based off of this, we know this plastic has been abused. All right, so what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna pop off the nozzle because we're gonna do this next. And we want to give it a little bit more surface area, a little more wider nozzle spray. I think for this I'm going to come down 5 degrees. Let's try 185. Let's see how that goes. Okay, so again, we're starting off with this one being too white. I think the 190 works a little bit better. And go back up. Gutbomb says, I've been really careful about even application. Yeah. You start now, you could probably get really good by the time 3D printing's big enough. Yeah. So for this, these have been retrobrighted. So these have all been cleaned. and they've basically been retrobrighted, and that's about it. You can see where I'm mostly focusing on the big area. I think I just melted a hair into it. That wasn't smart. Don't leave dog hair on your thing when you're starting to do this. But you can see we're starting to get that coloration back, and it's the area where we sort of focused on. You can see it's got the proper color. The edge, I tried to avoid this particular area when I was doing that, so you can see the contrast to what we were doing. So yeah, if you want to get your color back, this is a way to sort of do that. Hello, socket wench. Yes, the dog hair adds some rustic charm to it. Yeah, I think the 180 or what temperature was I doing? Yeah, 190 was my original temperature. I think I like that a little better. I think having the nozzle is actually, it gives you a little bit better control. So yeah, leave your nozzle on. Maybe a few John hairs too, yeah. Jack 68K uses a fish tank. Yeah, I have a giant bin that I bought at a superstore that I just leave it outside. And normally it's fine. Submersion generally gets you nice, even kinds of retrobrighting, but when your plastic is really, really bad, it can turn over pale. And my lighting isn't helping things, but you see that side's brown. We started getting our beige here. So do a little bit more. Let's get this bottom corner back to where it needs to do. So we're back up to 190 now. The other thing is, if you just want a new mouse for your Mac Plus or your 512K, Javier now has optical ones. The cases are 3D printed, so that's also a nice option for your vintage Mac with the weird ports. And I think his might also work for the Apple IIc. These I think are sort of hit or miss whether they actually work with the Apple IIc or not. Yeah, I think 190 works better, and I like having the smaller nozzle a little more. So yeah, let's stick with 190 and the smaller nozzle. And that did pretty good. So if you try this, let me know. I'm interested to see how much plastic people destroy. I am not responsible. Like always, don't ever do what you see me do on the channel. I'm an idiot. And so, if you destroy your plastic, don't tell me about it. Well, actually, tell me about it. This is not an easy technique. It is so easy to melt plastic like this. Use retro until, that's a really good question. You could probably put it in an oven. I worry about sticking plastic in ovens. Maybe not do the 190, maybe give it like 150 and see how it does. I know at 190 eventually you're gonna melt the plastic. That's why I do this like really quickly. Keep moving things around. What's the temperature in a 3D filament dryer? There you go. My lighting is not helping this, but it's definitely more beige than when we started out. It's not quite back to original beige, and also the auto white balance on my camera is not helping, but it's definitely more beige than it was. All right, so there's my technique for doing that. I still got, this is gonna take a while. I'll post some pictures. Oh, I forgot to take pictures of this. I guess you could kind of see it in the thumbnail. All right, next thing we gotta do is repair this keyboard. I'm gonna set this aside. This is a Mac Plus keyboard. This is one that I use around the bench that, you know, I haven't totally restored. I haven't restored it at all. It's still kind of dirty. But it has a bad key switch, and I'm scared to death that I'm gonna lose this. Like, I rarely need the button key on a Mac Plus, but my main worry is losing this switch. So the whole reason I want to fix this keyboard is so that I don't lose that keyboard button. So let's do this. I've never had to replace a switch on a Mac Plus keyboard before. ABS glass transition temp is 100 to 110 C. Yeah, you could try the acetone method. That is something that I want to try for trying to debrittle plastics. I have a couple cases that I'm going to try some experiments on with acetone vapor. See if we can get some of that brittleness down a little. Yeah, 200 is about where it's going to melt. Ooh, this is gross. Ooh, and there's bits coming out. Oh, that's gross. Okay. Let me blow this out real quick. Let me put you on the away message. I forgot that that III DIY gave me a away message. Where is it? Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Okay, I'll be right back. Oh, hi. There we go. All right, just blew that off so it's a little bit less gross. Hey, it's Ian Scott. Hello. Yes, you missed the start of the stream. We did a little bit of plastic restoration. We looked at some bits that I got. If you want to see more bits that I got, check out my Patreon. I do exclusive social media posts over there. Okay, so I was thinking that we were going to have to take this plate off, but in reality, it looks like we just got to do this. So this switch is dead. So I found on eBay recently these I think these are Alps SKCC switches with the long key stem. These are also, I think this is the same key switch that's in my Apple II Pluses. Oh, I think this is not the right thing. Okay. Well, oh no, it is. No, that's correct. It's just that one was stuck. You guys like my away message? All right, so these should just clip in there, but they're also soldered in. Doing the Apple II Plus keyboard was a nightmare because this metal frame was so rusty on that I had to unsolder every key switch so that I get that frame off, take all these switches out, and then fix the frame. So yeah, Ian Scott, this is one of the things that I got yesterday, or these came with the Macintosh SE30 that I got yesterday. So 68030 50 megahertz accelerator and a riser card. I think these are for a 2SI. Hey, it's Jeff Geerling. Hello. Would you rather unsolder key switches or a new bus slot? Yeah, that's, well, an entire keyboard of key switches was pretty annoying to unsolder. Luckily, we don't have to do that here. I'm glad that we don't have to do that here because that would just be awful. I don't know. That's a good question for folks in the chat. It's probably about the same number of pins overall. I can't do math in my head that quickly. I'm sure some of you can. Oh, hello. So I think it's this one. Okay. Let's see if that got it out. Rudy might know all the variations of key switches. Rudy knows that kind of thing. Ooh. So in addition to the SE30, while I was grabbing that, the guy was like, hey, all this stuff in my living room needs to go as well. I'm gonna have to clear out a little more space here. And the other stuff in the living room was something that I do not have or did not previously have in my collection. And I was like, I really don't want more stuff. But I was like, well, how much do you want for all this stuff? And he said $100. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll have more stuff. So if you want to see what I got, go check out my Patreon page. It's all of that stuff is free to followers. Like you can follow for free, and all of those posts are there. This switch is so messed up, and now I can't get it out. Come on out, you switch. Sloopy says key switches are easy, new bus slots not so much. Oops, that one's broke down. So this one, the switch is actually good. It's just the housing was bad. So if anyone happens to need a stem or internal bits for a Alps SKCC, please feel free to reach out. As long as you don't need the housing. And hello, Sloopy. I'm sorry if I didn't say hi to you yet. Oh, come on. There we go. Now it's out. There you go. Yes, and don't lose your caps lock spring. Okay, so I'll get this one. You know me, Sloopy. If I can make something look hard, I'm gonna. There we go. Look at that. That's right in there. That really didn't want to come out. I don't know what was going on. I don't know why it didn't want to come out. It should have been easier than that. Let's blob up some solder on that guy. Blob it up. Blob it up. But also, I got extra because, you know, the shipping is the same no matter how many you buy, and I have a 2 Plus that still has a couple of wonky keys. Okay, so that should be good to go. I guess we should test it. That would mean I'd need to pull out a Plus. I don't know if I have a working Plus right now. I probably should have thought of that before the stream. All right. I'm just so focused on not losing that key cap. It's like I gotta not lose that keycap. Who cares if it works? Oh, I missed Bacchus's question. That is a good question. Does anyone have like the RAL for the Macintosh beige? A lot of times if you Google RAL and color, that'll get you the like a discussion where other people have started looking it up. It's not a special keycap, it's just that the key was off and I didn't want to lose it. Uh-oh, now I forget what the right way is. I think it's that one. And then that one. Oh, I think I did that wrong. What's the right way? Oh my gosh. Why can't I remember? Oh, I did it totally wrong. I did it so wrong. I was just really worried about losing the cap. It's not a special cap. There we go. Thank you. Yeah, this one should not go there. All right. Let's pop open this SE30 and see what's inside. And then if we have some time, let's grab a Plus and see if this key switch works. Oh, shoot. I also have another plastic project. While I was thinking about it, I have this. So this is a regular old Mackie SE face. But you know those screens? Oh, kind of like. Let's grab the SE30 that I got yesterday. So this one's pretty yellow. It has this anti-glare thing, but look at this is a nice anti-glare thing. It fits into the channel as opposed to gluing the or I mean normally it's like a double-sided tape. But somebody apparently glued this thing on. So this is not fun. And one of the things, actually, real quick before we start on the SE30, what I'm gonna do, so one of the things I like to use on plastic is odorless mineral spirits when I'm trying to get things off, because it rarely causes issues with the plastic. I'm not gonna say never, but rarely. You don't want to really have this touch your hands, so wear gloves. But what I'm gonna do is put this on here and just let it soak while we're working on the SE30. Odorless mineral spirits are not actually odorless, in case anyone was wondering. We'll check back in with that momentarily. Let's get a old t-shirt to lay on the bench so we don't scratch up the front of our SE30. Has the programmer switches. That's always a nice touch. It has cotton stuck to the feet. That's fun. Oh, it's got a network card. That's pretty cool. So let's grab a T15 and extension. Yes, you can always 3D print your programmer switch if you're a 3D printing expert like Gutbomb is. It's always fun to open up an SE30 and see how bad the cap damage is. Oh, I also want to give a shout out to Dan from Userlandia. He pointed out this SE30 on Craigslist. So if this is really bad, I'm blaming it on him. Not shown in the stuff that I got was a whole bunch of SCSI cables, so that's kind of fun. Like 50-pin SCSI cables. Okay. Jack68K says, Craigslist still exists? Yeah, surprisingly. Yeah, there's a network card in here. Let's see what we got. That does not look like an original hard drive, so that's fun. Take off this from the network card. That looks like a relatively new hard drive. That's interesting. You know, new for our world, not new. Oh, only had one one screw in that. Oh, I forgot to look and see what the screen looked like to see if there was much in the way of burn-in. I'll go back. Let's pop off that neck board before I destroy it. Got a Quantum XP31070, so one gigabyte most likely. How fancy! That is fancy. Is our network card? Nope, it's just plopped in there. A series. I don't know what company network card that is. Yeah, the chassis looks in good condition, right? One of the things we normally look for is, has our battery leaked all over this and destroyed it? Which it hasn't, so that's good. Connector card. A series. I think it means a series, but not like that. Alright. Well, I don't know what kind of network card that is. If you know what kind of network card it is, let me know. I like thinking about it as network card series, because it's like a TV show about that network card. It had a whole life before it came to the Big Bad Bench. All right, wow, that's relatively clean. So you can see that there is leakage because we have fuzz around the caps, and all of that fuzz is sticking to the leaky cap juice. Got a battery, got ROM sim, we have a regular sim that is crooked, that's fun. 514100. Is that? That might actually be, they might be 4 meg sims. Let's see, what are these guys? $4440. That's interesting. Let's pop these out. Of course, we'll check the voltage on the battery. Yeah, it's funny how the fuzz is all sticking to the edges of the capacitors. Oh, it's not perfect. See, I don't know if that's gonna show up properly. Look, we've got a little bit of green on that ROM sim. Yup. Yup. Look at that. That is battery leakage. Veggies with your chip. Is it minty? Nope. Nope. Let's check our voltage. Everyone loves knowing what the voltage is. .1. There you go. Still a little bit of voltage left in that. We could like power up nothing. Okay, so that's that. That's not bad. This should be nothing. Is it from Israel or Germany? GP would be Germany, right? From, oh, this is the original. That's an 89. It's interesting to see the variations of the boards. I have some where they're in sockets and some where they're floating. So just for poops and giggles, does that? Yeah, see, this is one of the things that annoys me about Macs. That we can plug that in there. We could slap that on there. That is totally not something that you're supposed to do, though. I would imagine, because this is for a 2SI. Yeah. All right, so that's cool. That's fun. It's not awful. We have, I think that's an Ace Tech power supply in there, so that's probably good to go. Let's look on here. I don't see much in the way of burn-in. There might be an ever little skosh around the edges, but overall that's not bad. It also kind of looks like, yeah, you can see the gradation here between where the anti-glare was put on there. So this is much more yellow down there. But this case should clean up real nice. This should be a really nice case. So we'll get that in the retro bright before the summer ends, before the sun goes away. Get this one all restored and nice and pretty. Set you aside. Okay, so let's see here. Oh, I don't know if I have a blue SCSI with the Daystar software ready to go. Let's see what we got. 48 hours, 4 reallocations, same yellow. I've had stuff that is very resistant. I've rarely had it never do anything. I have done stuff, if you look at one of the shorts that I did, where I was doing a Mac 2 case, I thought that the retrobrighting did nothing, but I had like a piece of, oh, I cut myself, sorry. I had a rock, sort of, a piece of marble, sitting on top of the case to keep it under liquid. It still looked yellow to my eye, but when I moved the rock, you could see that the plastic was much lighter than we had started. So sometimes it's not really enough to see. But this is not the 2SI that I got from VCF Midwest. This is a different 2SI. It's one of the two boards that we worked on last weekend, though. I'm still waiting on parts to finish recapping the power supply, so that's why we're not doing that this weekend. We'll have a 2SI power supply extravaganza probably next weekend. Okay. So let's try out that RAM. Or at least some of the RAM that was in here. Where did I just put it? There we go. Let's see what kind of RAM we got in here. Sloopy says 2SIs rule. I'm inclined to agree with you, Sloopy. I've heard people hate it on the 2SI. I like the 2SI, gosh darn it. The other thing you could try is doing a higher concentration. Like, you know, I typically have my container really full of liquid, but when I really want to get it, I'll only fill, like when I was doing the case from VCF Midwest, that thing was so yellow that I wanted to really make sure it was concentrated and that the water level wasn't very high, so I only filled it up about halfway. And that helped. That helped a bit. Okay, so So let's see what we got here. So this is some of the RAM that came out of that SE30. And hopefully this Blue SCSI image. Blue SCSI, for all of your vintage Apple emulation needs, always use a Blue SCSI. They're good people. Yay. Okay, it still works. Let's see if this comes up with the power cache or Daystar extension. Oh, you probably kind of want to see this. Come on, Daystar extension. There it is. Okay, cool. So theoretically, we can try this directly because I think I have the image ready. Gotta see. Still doing stuff. BigBadBench, very important. What settings are you using on that VGA adapter? That is an excellent question. So, on this Belkin F3H1381 with the dial, which is different from the FH1381 without the dial, I currently have 3 on, 5 on, 6 on, and the dial is set to 3. Okay. About this Mac. Oh, yeah. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Those are 4 meg sims. Those are 4 meg sims that were in there. That is exciting. Okay. That's useful. Really good stuff. It's always nice when you find an SE30 with 4 meg sims in there. Okay. Should we do this? Should we try this guy out? Since I'm 99% sure this is for the 2SI. What do you think? Should we try a 50 megahertz 2SI? Let's do it. If it catches fire, I blame you all. Okay, John Little says yes. So you get double blamed because you actually said yes. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Chime. Nothing has caught fire yet. I put a glove on so you can't see me bleeding anymore. Did Daystar have standoffs to support the card? I don't know if they had like a cage to support the riser. I don't know. Okay, we got Blue SCSI activity. Okay, it didn't freak out. Yeah. Oh, is this Daystar for the oh no, there it is. Power Central. Power cache. Oh, it is. Look at that. 50 megahertz 030. And they're both switched on. Let's see. Let's go to Snooper. Let's go to info, CPU info, 68030, 50 megahertz accelerated with the FPU, because normally a 2SI doesn't have an FPU. There you go. Sweet. Now, the important bit, and if anyone knows this, I would be really appreciative. Let's not test the RAM. Let's not do this. What I really want to know about the CPU, FPU, and accelerator. So let's do that. So, if anyone knows if you have one of these that is intended for a 2SI, can that go into an SE30? What's the combination there? Hey, it's Mac84. Mac84 had a killer stream the other night. I still haven't finished watching it. Getting that external MFM drive for the 128 or 512 working, that was a lot of fun. So as Bacchus recommended, I'll talk to Bowl, but if anyone else happens to know, please reach out. So yeah. Speedy McSpeedy Face. There you go. Speedy Mac Speedy Face. Even better. I don't think it's gonna, well, maybe a Quake server. It's not gonna run Quake, that's for sure. Hello, i803866SX. Jack 68K, he says he has riser cards with the big metal cage with a place to screw the new bus things on. Cool. Okay, 6.5 hours of content. It was good content. It was compelling. I love soldering. Okay, so we've now done 2.5-ish cycles of Snooper with the accelerator being tested. This guy seems to be working. How fun is that? So that was a good pickup. That was the whole reason I bought that lot of stuff. Wound up that I got way more stuff than I had anticipated. I showed the initially interesting stuff. I have some other bits that are equally interesting. If you're into 8-inch floppy disks, go check out my Patreon. I have some social media posts up there to sort of show what I was doing, and you can always follow me on Patreon for free. So do that. Yeah, I actually fell asleep during Steve's stream, but not because it wasn't interesting, because it was way past my bedtime. But that's why I got to go finish watching it. Okay, is anyone else tired? We've been going for about an hour. Is there anything else we need to test? Should we check out what the other RAM was that was in there? Let's see what the other RAM was that was in there. File quit. This is 753, so we got to definitely shut down 753 or we'll get yelled at. Yay! I have an accelerator for a 2SI. I wonder if we can. I don't have my video editing card for the 2SI working yet. That's another thing we're gonna have to work on. It'd be interesting to see if we could throw this in with the video editing card. If we can get that, yes. If we can get that working. Oh, so the card did not work on the Plus. That's sad. Or the drive did not work on the Plus. So these look like 256Ks to me, but that number doesn't seem like what you normally see on a 256K sim. So let's see what these are. If this tries to boot with like 2 megs of RAM into 753, it's gonna be like, no, please stop. Oh, I totally feel that, Socket Wench. So I hope my streams at least are somewhat entertaining for folks. Make you laugh at my silliness at least for an hour or so a week. Oh, golly. Now it's booting. It hasn't cried yet. Oh, that's a good point that they're 80 nanosecond. So it's less likely to be 256Ks because they're normally 100 nanosecond or 120 nanosecond. Good point, Gut Bomb. You are a smart cookie. Come on, 2SI. So for those that don't know, the 2SI is originally a 20 megahertz CPU. You can overclock them a bit. Had a really nice discussion with someone at VCF Midwest about their overclocking adventures with their 2SI. Kind of a fun one because you get some issues once you get too fast. Oh, these are just 1 megs. That's fine. Take a 1 meg sim over a kick in the head. Nice. Okay, that's fine. Okay. All right, what else? Do we need to do it? Oh, I want to try to futz with that plastic. Let's try to see if we can get some of that stuff up off of there. Oh, I got to show you something else that came with this SE30, or that the SE30 came in. Maybe is a more accurate description. So for those that came in late, this is most likely a 1 gigabyte hard drive that was in the SE30. So that's fun. Set you aside. Set you aside. Oh, that fell. That's okay. That's okay. So this is the SE front. I'd really love to get this stuff off of here if possible. So we'll poke at this for a second, but I'm not gonna stay on for too long. I'm not gonna be able to get this all in frame. Maybe this way. So the SE30 came in a bag, which, you know, carrying cases for compact Macs are nice little things to have. But check this out. The side pouch is designed for extended keyboard too. I've never seen one with a pouch that big before. So that's fun. It's just so big. It's like, I am gonna go do some friggin' work. Yeah, this is not a Apple branded one. This is just stuff. It's like pulling out a sword. Brilliant. I love it, socket winch. There's a nice little floppy disk holder in the top. Oh, there are floppy disks in there that came out. We've got power print. Ooh, and RAM doubler. Gotta love some RAM doubler. Which version? It says 1994. Not sure. Most likely that's been archived. So yeah, that was a fun little thing for the 2SI, or the SE30. All right, let's look in the microscope at this mess. Microscope. Oh, boop. Oh God, what is happening? Yeah, that's pretty much in. So this seems to have been glued on. And I've had this soaking on there while we were doing stuff. Oh yeah, that is totally glued. Oh, that's a mess. What a friggin' mess. WD-40? All right, we can try some WD-40. WD-40 works on adhesive. but we can see if it's gonna touch it at all. So this is part of that lot that I bought a while ago. I sold a couple of those already. Why is everyone's solution during today's stream to just hit things with flamethrowers? What is going on with the world? Well, there's a lot of things going wrong with the world that might make people want flamethrowers, but let's try a little hot air. This is complicated because I don't want to only look under the microscope. I do love the smell of WD-40. That does seem to have softened it, the WD-40 in conjunction with the heat. The issue is going to be, am I scratching the heck out of the front of the case? Yes. Yes, I am. Yeah. So that kind of sucks. So I think what I'm going to have to do with this one is one of III DIY's videos showed a good way to sort of clean up plastic and then retexturize it. Yeah, there's a big old dent that I made there. So you can sort of use a little heat and use your forceps or your whatever to put a little bit of texture. Once you've cleaned stuff up, you can sort of reapply texture. And so I think this is just going to have to be a lot of little poking at stuff to get rid of this. Oh, that's going to be tedious. I won't subject you all to that, but you can already see this is not going to be a fun project. But yeah, I wonder what kind of glue this was. The angle grinder would take it right off, I know that. It's just wouldn't be a whole lot of plastic left. So I guess what I'll do is I'll let the WD-40 soak and see what that does. We can see this corner, we have this kind of mess. This corner, we have this kind of mess. Also, it looks like somebody had tried to scrape something off because there's a little bit of grossness there already. This corner has all that, so you can get this shiny stuff. I have to go back and figure out what video that was for III DIY. I think it might have been one of his Power Mac 5200 or something like that. This corner, we also have a blowout because somebody put the wrong length screw in the CRT and it started coming out the front. And then we have more tape there. Gutbomb has the best idea. Just say screw it and put a new anti-glare thingy on. I love it. That is a brilliant idea. Okay, so let's zoom out, show you this thing for now. So that's what that one looks like. That's a bunch of WD-40 that we put on there. There's that one, and that one. So here's the before. We'll find out what the after looks like some other day. The WD-40 does a nice job with getting rid of the streaking. Also got rid of that mark real nice. But that's also why I use the 4 604 protectant, 603 protectant, whatever it is. Remember, we did this earlier. We got that looking a little better than it was. So yeah, next weekend I should have my parts in to finish repairing the 2SI power supplies. I've already tossed a few caps at it, but I still have some I need to do. So we'll put those back together. We'll see what this looks like. We'll put some 2SIs together, and maybe we'll throw this SE30 together. We'll get that cleaned up. Okay, I think that's gonna do it for today. I want to thank you all for joining. I had a fun stream on Thursday that I did. If you're into hard drive ASMR, there were some really nice sounding hard drives that we played with in that stream. So go back and check that. If anyone needs a Alps SKCC stem, happy to send that off to you. So what else? Is that it? We good? Anything else? Hit the like button if you wouldn't mind. That would be swell. I want to thank you all. Oh, I got to thank my patrons. So my Janka crew, the people that keep me in my Janka. Matt Hargett, Gut Bomb, Garth Beagle, Brian Garefort, David Starbuck, Ian Scott, Jamie's Hack Shack, All Things DG, Chris Angelis, Tech Ambrosia, Scout, Jack 68K, and my Jank team, Hardware Hacker, Mark Kruger, III DIY, Charles Bullock, Dave's Vintage Apple Tech, and Mark from Millennium Max. Thank you all for hanging out with me today. As we always say here at the Big Bad Bench, if you're a Trumper, go F yourself. Have a lovely week, y'all. Thanks for tuning in this week. I appreciate the heck out of you. Oh, I forgot to do this first. Do that first, and then go back to the thumbnail.